All right, YouTube, coming up on Jackal Michelson's bunker here. Yeah, I was thinking of maybe doing a video on like 3 things that I love and 3 things not so much. In fact, I wrote that down last night. I just saw one of my many coffee table books. Not on the coffee, I don't really have a coffee table. I do, technically it's a coffee table, but it's not really for displaying coffee table books. It's more for like putting my feet up. And when I used to work for the agency, I had my laptop on the one end of it and my foot pillow on the other end, and it's not a very big bench. It's kind of like a bench, more than it's like a coffee bench. But anyway, I've got like 3 or 4. One of them's it's a coffee table book, but it's the Cambridge University. It's got lots of knowledge in it, not just pictures, but coffee table books about the universe, like outer space and stuff. That's one of my things that I love, is coffee table books about the universe. I also love things that are colored like matte black. I really like matte black. I don't like shiny black. That's not one of the things, not so much. I mean, it is, but that's not what's on my list. Especially cars, but, also other industrial design things like, whatever. Like a toaster, or maybe a mechanical pencil. What color is that? Is that steel? Is it like graphite? Is it like light gray? Or is it matte black? I'm buying the matte black one. So I do love things that are colored matte black. And then see if I can remember the third thing. I got lots of things besides 3 that I love, but I'm trying to remember from my list. The third thing on the list, what was it? I can always edit this part out, so just don't be talking or don't say anything good. So I'm just going to say a bunch of nonsense while I try to remember, because I can't not talk, or else I think it's like I'm like a shark. Like if a shark stops talking, like he dies, right? Like I'm like that. It's like the way I get oxygen into my lungs is through flapping these gums. That would be weird to flap your gums. That'd be gross. Your lips don't even flap. What if your gums did? What's going on with those teeth then? But I feel like if I don't talk sometimes, like my brain shuts down. It doesn't really, but I feel like it does. So I don't know. Anyway, what was the third thing? Coffee table books about the universe, things that are colored matte black, and eclectic, eccentric bookends, for like a bookshelf to keep your books up. I love those things. What about the 3 things not so much? Coffee with skim milk. Nah. It's funny though, I used to drink coffee with skim milk back in the day. And I had skim milk in the house because I was a skim milk drinker. I've been all over the spectrum of milk. I've been not too much whole milk, but I've been a 2%er and a 1%er and a 0%er. Plus I have had 4%, which is whole milk is 4%. And I have had the creams. I've enjoyed the creams in my coffee as well as the half and half. But yeah, skim milk and coffee, no, that's not so much. That was the second thing on the list I can remember. The number 1, bugs in my house. Not loving that so much. The third thing, not so much, brass lighting fixtures. Not a fan of those. Now, if they were matte black, depends on the room. That might be something, but no thank you to the brass. Yeah. I mean, as you can see, there's not a lot of passion behind the not so much. As I'm getting older, things they're stopping to bother me. And that's a nice wisdom, right? That's a good place to get. Because think of it like this. Ask me this. What do you think makes your life easier and more enjoyable? Running up across things that bother you all the time, or never running across those things? Right? Your answer is number 2. Everybody's would be. So how do you not run across things that don't bother you? You don't have anything that bothers you. That's the best, most efficient way to pursue that, is if you don't have anything that bothers you. If you stop bothering, if things stop bothering, then you don't have to run away from anything, previously bothersome things or otherwise. On the flip side of this, you're also kind of part of this, the other coin of this wisdom is that the things you do love, you still love them, but you don't need them. It's a different kind of love. It's more like a brotherly love than a lustful lover love, right? You know, like when you're chasing that lover and you know, it's weird inside. Sometimes you feel codependent, or, you know, like at least for me, and I bet for somebody else, maybe not everybody else, but it's great, but it can be painful, right? You feel like you get addicted to, I've felt before that I was addicted to my lover. And you can get addicted to the other things that aren't humans that you love, or other humans that you love that aren't lovers. But you can still love the things you love, but you don't have to love on them so hard, right? Like if things don't bother you, then you don't have to avoid things that used to bother you. And if things that you love don't have a hold on you, like you don't need them, you're not dependent upon them for satisfaction or a feeling of like peace or happiness or whatever, more likely distraction. Usually when you're in love with a thing, rather than the brotherly love, rather than in brotherly love, but you're in eros love with a thing, it's got a hold on you, right? It doesn't have to be literally an addiction, but it can be like a metaphorical or a psychological. You become kind of dependent on it. And what happens when that somehow is unavailable when you need it? Then you're in a spot of bother, right? But I thought things didn't bother you anymore. Well, what about, you know, you don't mind the things that used to bother you. You got rid of that coin, but the other coin is what about things that you feel like you need and you can't have? Then you're in trouble again. So you come to a place of brotherly love for everything, and you let the dependency, need love dissipate along with the bothersomeness of things that used to bother you. And then you're more at peace, right? So the things you love, you can still love them, but the things that you used to not love, you can also love them, because in the end, it doesn't matter. You're the one who brings your attitude to the event. If you bring an attitude of equanimity and balance, peace, and just a quiet brotherly love to everything, then your life's going to go nice and smooth. And even when things don't go smooth, you get a rough patch or some bumps, you get some turbulence, you're well equipped to be able to handle anything at hand, because your energy's not squandered on pining after that addictive love, or being all worked over by that annoying baby crying in seat 8B or whatever, you know, on the plane with the turbulence. It's not a problem. You can let that baby cry. You can love that baby, and maybe your positive energy. I imagine more feeling of love in the air on that plane is probably better for that baby to stop crying than feeling of tension. I don't know, that's more Sedona, Crystal Cave, New Age stuff. I don't have experience with that stuff. I don't have crystals and stuff, so I don't know, but I do have experience with this. My hand is freezing cold. That's holding this phone. It's cold, even though the sun's on it and the wind is light, but it's like 20s degree, so it does add up. The freezing points start to add up, and your blood starts to get cold, and then your skin starts to get cold. And so That's not a bother though. It's just, it's like what I'm saying. Like that used to maybe bother me. Let's say, man, I hate having a freezing cold hand. Man, why has it got to be so cold on my hand? Oh, man. Ugh. Right? But then look, I'm trying to do this with one hand. It's hard to get a glove on with one hand. There we go. But then instead of being all worked over, what I did is I just calmly put on my glove and address the problem in a calm, situated manner. And now my hand is warming up. And I'm not all out of whack. I get to go back to work and I'm all equilibriized and equanimous and all that. All those fancy Buddhist words. I got those. I'm working on getting those. I think we should all work on getting those. You know, I think it's been proven that those Buddhist guys have something going on. I think it's been proven. So we should all kind of try to maybe care a little bit less about things that used to bother us, and also care a little bit different. Not less, but just care a little bit different. You know what I mean? Tell me you don't know what I mean. Care a little bit different about the things we love. And let things be things. And let people be people. And let things just be themselves. Including your own self. Right? And then find out whether or not Deckard makes any sense. Don't judge me yet. But why don't you try this? I don't know. I'm trying it. It works for me. It's working. I'm not 100% there, but I'm working towards getting there. So, all right, YouTube. I'll see you later. And that's some clumsy wisdoms by Deckard. Equanimity. Blue shirt today. It matches the blue sky. Yeah, I say and yeah, I do that a lot. It's one of the things on my New Year's resolution. See, I did it again. It's just natural. It's the way I talk. So, yeah, I don't care. Gotta have content in order to make, the YouTube. Anyhow, equilibrium, even keel, equanimity. That's what we're looking for. And we're looking for some heat. All right.